Welcome to Business Success Tips, where you can learn to make more money in less time and have a lot more fun. I'm the founder of Contractor Staffing Source, Paul Sanneman, your host, and I have with me Nancy O'Hare-Zika. Did I get that right?
You sure did.
Thank you, from Yellow Dog Creative. Hey, guys, ought to check out their website. Best website I've seen ever. And I used to make websites, so I know all the websites. It's amazing.
Thank you. I mean, that's a huge compliment. Thanks.
So Nancy, tell me a little about what Yellow Dog does and what you do and how you got started. Tell your backstory a little bit.
Yeah, so I was actually the general manager of a plumbing company here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And we were a Nexstar company. We were involved with Nexstar as a better business practice organization. And the owner of Swick Plumbing, where I worked, he was actually quite a visionary. His name was Tom Swick. And he wanted to create what we would now call a branding video. Years ago, plumbers, A, they didn't advertise, and B, they didn't put anything on television. That just wasn't a thing. Plus, it was a 60-second spot, so that blew people's mind. And they played that one video, a branding video, which we used to call just storytelling videos. We played that one video at one of the Nexstar meetings, and quite honestly, the rest is history. Fast forward 5 years, people had been asking me to help them make that same exact video for them. 60-second branding video called The Spirit of, and then whatever company name. So The Spirit of Swick, The Spirit of Weltman, The Spirit of Cranny. And Tom was getting ready to step down and sell the company. And the new owner, I knew he wasn't going to want his GM flying around the country helping other companies do marketing. So I stepped down the day Tom sold the business. And here we are. We start the first half of our life. We were known as Swick Media, obviously because of the name of the plumbing company. And when I kind of set out on my own, started at my kitchen table, with one employee, Mike, and he's still with me today. And so we were just video production. First half of our life, that's all we did. But it was about 7 or 8 years in before we realized that we could make the most incredible video content. But at the end of the day, our partners didn't know what to do with that video content. Okay. So we launched a media strategy division. And so we have a team of 3 that does everything from the planning, the research, the implementation, the negotiation, and then the analysis of all media platforms for our partners. We then launched graphic design. Shortly after, we launched social media management and reputation management. And 2 years ago, almost to the day, a young man walked in my door and walked into my office and told me that he was from Ukraine. He was here with his daughter, and he was a refugee from the war, and he needed a job. And I asked him what he did, and he said, "I make websites." So lo and behold, we now make websites.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? We don't do websites, but I guess now we do. And it's been great. So yeah, that's kind of.
It gives you a good place to put the video, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we're like, all right, this is kind of a no-brainer for us. I always said that I wasn't going to get into the website world, the whole LSA, pay-per-click, Google stuff. And we still actually don't. We are a boutique website creation. So, which means Roman will only take 1 or 2 per month, and we completely custom build. As soon as the site is built, we then pass the baton to one of our many incredible digital companies that kind of take the baton and run with it. One of the things that I believe has really fallen by the wayside with the huge impact that these digital agencies have, but they're not beautiful websites. They're actually just templated because they're doing it for SEO purposes, and they've lost the user experience, in my opinion. So Roman, the gentleman here at Yellow Dog who makes our websites, he makes just beautiful to look at, beautiful, but also SEO friendly. I mean, it's got to have that part of it, right? But we believe that it can also be a beautiful website. So that's what Roman does. And so the only thing we do not do here at Yellow Dog Creative is the LSA, pay-per-click, SEO stuff.
So what you do, I would say your focus is building brand.
1,000,000%. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you allocate your budget between the big building brand versus pay-per-click and digital marketing? And then there's a whole thing like marketing is everything that makes the phone ring and sales is everything after the phone rings. So there's a lot of divisions here between what's marketing, what's sales. Where do I
Yeah.
spend my money? There's a whole lot of confusion in the industry. I also think that's going to change over the next couple, 3 years, because I see a lot of capital moving into this industry.
Yes.
Excuse me, because AI is disrupting a lot of industries that are information based, like law and medicine, that kind of stuff. Whereas on the other hand, AI will be a long time for it to come out and fix your roof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not
It's
in
never
the
going to
foreseeable.
replace the human element. Right.
Right. So what happens is all this money is coming from, well, we got $100 million. What are we going to do with it? And it's all getting focused on the service industries. And they're buying
Yeah.
up companies like crazy. They're getting in there doing marketing. They can hire people like you. So how does the smaller guy stay competitive in this sort of gold rush, for lack of a better term, for the service businesses from capital?
Well, first of all, here at Yellow Dog, we do work with several private equity groups that have purchased a number of our partners. I would say probably out of the 200 contractors we work with, probably 80, 90 are now under ownership of a private equity or venture capital group. And my answer, there are some that are doing it really, really well. There are some that are not doing it very well at all. And I think that branding is a really interesting animal. I think that no matter what you're doing, no matter what platform you're on, there has to be a branding element. We are not in a call to action industry. As much as people like to have that conversation with me and go head to head on whether we are or we are not, nobody wakes up wanting to replace their water heater. Nobody wakes up wanting to replace their furnace or their AC unit. It is something that is typically driven out of necessity. And so we encourage our partners to spend 60% of their budget with branding in order to make sure you are the company of choice when they wake up and they don't have cool air, or they don't have heat, or they don't have hot water. So, no matter what it is, there should always be a branding component to your marketing.
How long, excuse me, how long does it take to build a brand?
I will say on average, it's a 3-year process to properly build a brand. Whether it's, your wrapped vans, your billboards. But I will tell you my absolute favorite branding play, which is also the least expensive branding play, is becoming a community servant, becoming a community leader. We encourage all of our partners to set up a partnership with a humane society, a dog rescue, pay for the adoption of one hard to place pet every month. Put that on your social media. Month after month after month, it is the most shared and most engaged post of every single company that we have that does that. We also encourage them to partner with schools, high schools,
Like
elementary.
soccer leagues, little league, all that kind of stuff.
1,000,000%. Yep. Now, none of this is a marathon, right? Or these are marathons. They're not a sprint. So
Right.
it does take time to get engagement, but thinking outside the box and doing these community engagement, in my opinion, is some of the best money you can spend. And it's very little, quite honestly.
And how do you do that? I can see if you're in a small community, but what if like you're in Chicago or Tennessee, now where you got a big city, just take your one little market, because the thing is hard to make noise in that big a place, right?
Yeah, so we actually work with a company in Nashville, Tennessee. That's interesting. It's called the Maynard Man, and Maynard Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electrical. They are running a water bottle program where they donate 4,000 water bottles in August to the local high school for them to sell at sporting events. They donate 4,000 bottles. The school sells them for $1 each. They have the Maynard label on them. They adopt a pet every single month, and it really isn't hard. When we started working with them, we looked at the whole DMA, designated market area for Nashville, and we chose to start with Cheatham County. Okay, so it's a big market, right? We focused on Cheatham County. We started adopting a pet from the Cheatham County Humane Society. We worked with schools there. Then we went up to Williamston. So, and
Now,
you
how do
just
you adopt a pet? When your employees do it or you pay for it? How's that work?
No, so we make the introduction here at Yellow Dog. So a company will, like Maynard, for example, we reached out to 3 or 4 humane societies in Cheatham County. And we just said, hey, can we please pay the adoption fee of one of your hard to place pets every month? And they always say, what do we have to do? And the answer to that is you literally have to email us a picture of whatever pet, that dog, every month. And then when it gets adopted, send us a picture of the dog with their new family. And then we will send us an invoice and we'll pay the adoption fee. And it is literally as easy as that.
Wow.
Yeah. And it is, we were just talking about it this morning we have a Monday huddle with the whole company here. And we are 3 of the posts, had over 300 likes. And they were all the highlights for those companies. Each one was a pet adoption.
Wow.
I mean, man, dogs and babies, right? I mean,
Yeah, there's dog people, that's for sure. That's what they
yeah.
are.
Oh man, they will die on that hill. So they're shared a ton, and it's like $80 a month.
Wow.
Super low
That's
cost.
amazing. Great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So those sort of things, again, it isn't a book your board tomorrow campaign. It is a long-term, it's a marathon.
How do you
So
convince your clients that it's going to take 3 years? No offense, contractors have this sense of immediacy. Their whole brain is built around, they're used to build, they want, they have a sense of urgency, right?
yes. Yep.
And so how do you combat that sense of urgency? Because I try to get guys to recruit. I say, do you recruit all the time? They go, no, I just recruit and I need somebody. I go, no,
No.
time. So it's the same
Yeah.
kind of problem I have. So how do you get them to understand that it is a long process? It isn't something you put an ad in pay-per-click and you get some leads and you're done.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's really interesting because I say that all the time, but they really have to understand it. And I will educate them and educate them and educate them until they get to a point where they finally, they understand. And I have enough at this stage of the game, 16 years in, I have enough clients that I can say, listen, call Bernie at Maynard,
Right.
call Craig at Meridian. I mean, talk to these people. Now, you're always going to be running probably call to action. Also, some good deals, some financing spots, buy one, get ones. Those have a really good place. And there's a lot of platforms that are really helping the home services with call board filling on a really immediate need.
Right.
But you always need to be branding. And
I look at your website says, we know you're the best at what you do, but does everybody else, right?
and nobody knows.
Right.
And I wrote an article a couple of years ago, and now every time I go out and do any sort of speaking, I always talk about the bullseye. And it's so true, right? We live in the center of our bullseye. I assume that everyone in the world knows who Yellow Dog is, what we do, how we do it, because I live in it. I am in it every day. My jacket is a Yellow Dog jacket,
Right.
my business cards, you know what I'm saying? You get one ring out on the bullseye. These are now your friends and family. They're going to use you anyways.
Right.
You could be the worst contractor in the world and your friends and family are still going to use you. You get one more ring out. Now we're talking about people that might know you work at that company but do they do heating or are they just
Right.
cooling? Or do they do toilets or not?
Right.
And so that's okay. So that's the ring that you have to be marketing to. Doesn't matter about the inside 2 rings. Everyone knows and they're going to use you. You get 2 rings out. That is your market. And that's the people, they don't even know who you are and what you do.
Right. Well, I say, I promote our contractors meeting with architects, because a lot of those are builders. And I say, well, you've got 3 people, the people that love you, the people that like you, the people that don't know you, and the people that hate you. If you have a lunch, where do you go? And people like, no, go to the people that don't know you. The lunch with the people, that doesn't do you any good, right? There's no ROI on that lunch.
No, right.
The same thing with
Exactly.
marketing. You want to go to the people that know you and like you, who cares? They already know you and like
Right.
you. The people
Yep.
that hate you can't fix. But
Right.
the people that don't know you, that's the greatest opportunity for success, right?
$1,000,000%. And that's your target. That's your target audience with marketing. Now, of course, we're always retargeting existing customers, cross-selling, cross trades. email blasts. We do a lot of our partners, the majority have Service Titan. And so we do a lot within that CRM, but yeah, there's just a million, and there's a lot of really great opportunities now for lead gen with companies like Chirp, which is a texting service, and ringless voicemail service, where you could quite literally, if you need calls tomorrow, you send out a ringless voicemail to all of your customer base saying, we have 2 openings tomorrow that we need filled, and we are going to waive the diagnostic fee. Be the first one to text me back, and we'll get you on the books tomorrow. I mean, campaigns like that are immediate, and it fills the board time after
So I know
time.
guys, people that are using AI, they call all the people in a neighborhood and offer a roof inspection. AI literally makes a phone call, sets the appointment with the salesman, has no human being involved. Which brings up, so AI is going to influence everything. We know that. But the question
Absolutely.
is, and after I saw the Sora videos, like, oh my God, that's amazing, right? But obviously, it's a while. So how is AI going to affect marketing as you see it and building brand, and how can we use it effectively, and where is it not useful? Because I think people are going to screw it up, in my opinion.
They will.
They're going to write their blogs with AI and think they're done, and it's probably not going to work very well because everybody's going to do that. So how do you use it effectively?
So in our world, I will allow the Yellow Dog crew to utilize AI as a conversation starter only. And if they can't show me how they've edited it, then that is a huge no-no in the eyes of Nancy. So, so if we're trying to come up with a blog or a podcast or a script for like, you can only say $79 heating tune-up so many freaking ways, right? I mean, you can only say that so many ways. So if we want to kind of get some fresh ideas, we use it as a creative fire starter. That's what we do. I don't think it's going to replace the human element. And I also do not think that Google is going to be tricked by it. So writing your blogs for your website, hoping that it's going to please the Google gods of SEO, I do not believe that. I think they're so much smarter than all of us, including AI. So I think that they're going to figure that out very quickly, and it's just going to be detectable. So I agree with you. It's here, and it's here to stay. And I think it's an incredible helpful tool, as long as it's used as such. Yeah.
Now, what about AI and video? That's going to change some things, right? I assume, or not?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to affect it in my lifetime, in my career. Probably 10 or 15 years from now, I think we're going to see more of the AI voices, AI animations. I still think there will always forever be a need for real people, real voices, people talking, interviewing people, hearing from customers. Beautiful drone footage. I really believe that there's always going to be, in our generation, a need for that. And I honestly think that the AI stuff is going to help us, because it's going to make people want to seek out really heart-touching videos, and not so robotic and not so canned. So I think that to stay true to the storytelling, you need to be telling the accurate story, and that involves people, and the heart of the company.
So as an example, I said, like, how much a car costs, right? What does a video cost? So it's like, if I'm a $3 million company, I want like at least a cool video to put on my website and promote. What's that going to cost? And how much of my budget should I allocate toward branding?
So we recommend about 60% branding, 30% call to action. And then we always leave that extra 10% for whatever else we need. Offer driven things that show up. Maybe you're in a home show, and just the Olympics are coming up. You want to do something unique for that. So 60, 30, 10. But as far as cost, the biggest obstacle that we have, right? We're located in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is up by Canada. And we don't have access to everyone's team. They're not right here in our back door, right? So how do we?
Expensive, right?
It's okay. So this is what we've done. We have a 3-day shoot where our crew comes on site and we shoot for 3 days. We are not there to shoot a video or 50 videos. We are there to capture 3 days of footage, techs working on equipment, interacting with customers, internal interviews. We talk to staff for recruitment, and we come back then to Marquette, Michigan, and we can make video content for the next 5 years as long as the brand doesn't change. That footage is evergreen because a tech working on a furnace is a tech working on a furnace. If he's in your logoed shirt with a logoed hat and he's driving.
Just bring the logo in. What if their logo sucks? No offense. I mean, it's like, do you
No,
say,
and that happens. I do say your logo sucks. Are you sure you want to do this right now? Because
right.
I'm an Irish girl. I don't screw around. So
So
I
to
just,
me, it's like, let's change your branding before we promote it, because we're stuck with this brand for the next 5 years. So
yes,
if it's AAA plumbing, because they used to get it in the phone book 10 years ago, maybe that's
God
not
bless
the
them.
best thing anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have that conversation. We've had some hard conversations, and if they feel like, this is where we're going to be A1 plumbing, well, okay, well then you know what? Then we're going to go. We're going to do the best
Right.
with what we can. But we do have that conversation, and then once that 3-day onsite for $17,000 takes place, we can make video for the next 5 years. We never have to go back. $17,000 is a lot of money for a lot of companies. For some companies, it's not. It's a drop in the bucket. They don't care. So we have created a second alternative, which is a local Marquette, Michigan shoot. It's 1 day, and it's $6,000. We have them physically mail us technician uniforms, hats, equipment stickers, brochures, business cards. We have 4 staged houses. We have every piece of home comfort equipment in a staged environment. We have
What
17.
about wrapped trucks? How do you pull that one off?
Well, what we do, so that's a great question. We have a van, but we can only shoot from inside. So if you imagine a guy in a Yellow Dog Creative uniform, and he's driving and he grabs his seatbelt as he pulls it across the logo, we get that shot. We have him look up in the mirror and adjust his hat. He's driving. So we can shoot into the vehicle because that all looks the same. We just
Right.
can't show the outside. So with some eye foolery, like when the van is
You
pulling,
like Photoshop the wrap on the van, or I guess you can't do that on a video, right?
you can't. Now motion tracking is a thing, and we believe
That's
me.
where AMI eventually help you out, right? If you can figure out how to do that.
Yes. And we even did where we would have the technicians answer the door in just a white shirt, and then we would try to motion track. But man, you get a wrinkle or something in your shirt,
Well,
all
now
of a
that's
sudden,
where AI is going to help you guys out, right? Because it'll
yes,
get better at all that
it'll
stuff.
get rid of that sort of thing, right? But you still kind of need, and we'll get a shot, for example, of the guy in the van. He's driving, he looks up, he adjusts his hat, and then you have a low ground shot where the wheels pull in the driveway and you just get the running board. So it's some eye foolery that over the last 10 plus years we've figured out how to capture some of these shots. Can I capture your people and your culture and interview your technicians and talk to your customers? No, I can't do that in Marquette,
Well, to
Michigan.
me, when I look at $17,000, I go, I mean, that's selling 3 air conditioning units. I mean, that in construction, that's 3 jobs. You're
Yeah,
done.
you're
Right?
absolutely right. And nothing can replace talking to your real people and showing your beautiful drone footage of your fully wrapped van going over a gorgeous bridge with a ravine in the back. I mean, you just can't, right? You just can't replicate that. But we have some little companies with 4 technicians, and they just can't afford that. So at least to dip their toe in, get some website videos, get some Facebook and some social media paid ads, some more inexpensive things. It's good enough to kind of get their toe in the water.
Now, what do you charge to do a website, or does that depend?
I'm sorry, the website?
What do you charge to do a website, or does that depend on the website?
No, our websites run from $9,000 to $12,000, depending on if there's an e-commerce component. But yeah, the range is 9 to 12. And I would say most of them land between 9 and 10.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is if you want to look like a bigger company than you are, which is my opinion.
Bigger than life. That's what we promote.
Right. Then if you spend, I'm saying maybe $25,000, you could look like a $5 million company instead of a $1 million company, right?
Absolutely.
Now I'm going to
go. Quality video is never going to be replaced. Now, what COVID did for us in the industry is it had allowed us to not have every single video we put out there be beautifully lit and properly mic'd up. And we're used to Zooms and we're used to
Well, that's why you're not
FaceTime.
in my studio. You're in my Zoom, right? It's acceptable
Exactly.
these days, right?
And that's okay. It's okay to have things like this also. Do some podcasts, do some how-tos, answer
Right.
some frequently asked questions and get that on your website. Hi. Sorry, my husband just stopped by to pick up my golden retriever.
There you go. I can see you're a dog person. You wouldn't relate to dogs, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're golden retriever people here at Yellow Dog Creative. So totally forgot where I was saying, where I was going.
Well, you're talking about, the website, so you can do the whole picture for not a lot, and it may look like a bigger company.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask you this is a totally, and well, you could answer this better than most people. I have a small company that does a couple million. I'm figuring out, well, the capital is coming in. I'd rather join him than fight him, because I remember I talked to a guy who was in Nebraska or someplace, and he was like a VC guy, and we started recruiting for him. He goes, well, I got a bunch of money. I'm going to start a roofing company in Nebraska. And I went, what? He goes, well, AI is going to screw everything else up. I got roofing is good. I can come in. The old guys are going to pass off or don't know what they're doing. The young guys don't have enough money. I'm going to come with a marketing budget and a recruiting budget, and I'll own that market in 4 years. And he's probably right.
Yeah, he is. He is right. Yeah.
So, and he says, that's the greatest arrow I can get, because I look at a roofing company, they're netting like 25% net. If I put my money in, and I build capital, like 4 years from now, I got a company worth 10 million and I put 5 million in it. Like, what a deal, right?
Yeah.
So
you're not going to make that sort of turn on in the market. That's for sure.
You're not. And the whole, this disrupting of like education, all that other stuff. I mean, as an attorney, I've got to fight a legal battle using ChatGPT. So it's going to change everything. So the question for you is, I got two choices. I can try to compete with them, or I can sell out to them. And how would I make that decision? And how do I tell what my company's worth?
Well, finding out what your company's worth is, I mean, some people say it's 2.5 times, your gross, it's your net.
Sometimes it's 10 times EBITDA. There's all kinds of numbers.
There's the EBITDA effect. There's people out there who charge $30,000-$40,000 to do an entire company valuation. Yeah, that's not my area. I have no idea how these people come up with the numbers they come up with, but I do know that there's a tremendous amount of money being spent. And I guess the biggest thing that people need to look at is what the non-compete aspect of a sale is going to be and how that's going to affect you. Just talked to a guy the other day who he's out in New Jersey. He did the if you can't beat him, join him game. He sold off. But he maintained the drain portion of his plumbing, heating, cooling company. So he wrote that in, and then he started up like literally 3 days after that closed. He started up and he started a drain only company. So there is some wiggle room in there, because a lot of these companies might not want that side of it. Generator, geothermal. There are parts of businesses, if you could write it, where you can just then launch off, right? But and I'm not
the question is building, if you can't beat them, join them or fight them. If you're building a brand, is your company worth more? Let's say I've got pick a number, a $3 million HVAC company or HVAC roofing. And now I'm like 55, 60. I'm going, well, I could either, sell out to these guys for $1.5 million and I'm done.
Sure.
Or I could build brand and sell it out for $4 million if I could get the volume and the net to get there. So, could I use a company like yours to build my brand so they're buying more? Does that make any kind of sense?
Yeah. So a branded company, it all depends. If you're well branded, you're going to have more. Let me just state this. A properly branded company is also going to be the company of choice for technicians. Okay. So the company of choice in the area is going to be the company that has the most technicians that are actually coming to you because their wife or their spouse wants that van in their driveway because they're reputable, they're respectable, they're not driving a rust bucket with letters falling off. So if you are properly branding your company, it's instantly going to be more worthwhile, but it's also just going to be of more value, because if you are the business or company of choice in an area, you're already going to own more of the market share, which is going to demand a higher price tag than Joe.
So the thing I've been pitching, I've been working contractors 40 years, is that in this society, most successful companies are marketing companies that drive their marketing with some kind of brand or service. That's what they pay for.
Yeah. Got
Most
to.
contractors don't get that. Now, I said, consider yourself a marketing company and you're funding your marketing with doing home remodeling or whatever else you're doing. If you can see it that way, then you understand the value of marketing. Because to me, somebody could maybe spend $50,000 on building brand and their company's worth like $1 million more. I mean, the ROI is insane.
Yeah.
You get it, right?
Yeah. Right. I
So,
mean, all of those numbers, play into that the final paycheck at the end of the day. But the brand in the company in the area that leads the race of the brand awareness is going to always be the most valuable brand. So if they spend 4 or 5 years investing in their brand and really getting a huge chunk of that market share, they're going to get that money back tenfold.
I mean, to me, it's the best exit strategy is to build brand and then sell
For
out to
sure.
somebody who has a whole bunch of cash and wants to own the market. I
Right.
mean, that makes the most
Right.
sense.
Exactly. And like you're talking about the Yellow Dog website, right? I mean, I'm 56. I'm going to be 57 in November. So I obviously am thinking 5 years out, right? I need to make this company. When we started, we had, myself and Mike at my kitchen table, right?
Mhm.
So I now have, we're Yellow Dog's a team now of 30. I couldn't have done that without branding. And it was hard in the beginning. I mean, it was work, but I haven't advertised, paid to advertise in over 10 years because it's like the rock rolling downhill, right? I mean, you just pick traction. It starts just growing
Right.
as it's rolling. And you get to a point where everything's kind of marketing for you. And everything you do is the success is amplified because your brand is so strong in an area, but
Right.
you do have to commit to it. It isn't a one and done. It isn't,
And I would
the
think that
people who,
building brands, probably given what's happening with capital in this industry, building brands is probably one of the best investments you can make because what you don't want to do is have your competition bought out by somebody else and kick your ass. No offense. I mean,
yeah, yeah. And that's what's going to happen because the
right.
big boys are out there and they don't care. They're going to
Yeah.
just
I
take
mean,
you
it's sort of
down.
like fighting Walmart when you're downtown drugstore. You're in trouble.
Yes,
Right.
yes. And so at some point, and that's why we say, to all of our partners, at some point you have to stop chasing the leader and you have to start creating your own brand. Do
Right.
something different like the Adopt a Dog thing or sponsor high schools and charitable events and do that other stuff. Do something unusual. Hire bike people on bikes to drive around
Your
stadiums
vans,
on
you got,
game day.
signs, vans, that kind of, your signage is
Yeah,
the most obvious stuff.
exactly.
So,
So
Nancy, if people want to get in touch with you, I think this is amazing. How would they get in touch with you? And do you have like a free kind of like, let me get to know you, if this makes sense or not kind of thing you
yeah,
do?
so Yellow Dog Creative, right? My email, my cell phone number, everything is on the website. Give us a call. Myself, Drew, our VP, and Jackie, our GM, all their contact information. The three of us, we talk to people every single day. We do discovery calls at no charge. And not even that, like I tell people, I can't tell you how many thousands of people I have made this next statement to, and hardly anyone takes me up on it. Clearly, I'm a marketing geek. I love this stuff and I am passionate about the skilled trades. If someone called me out of the blue and just said, "Can I just pick your brain for an hour on some?" Yes, the answer is yes. You don't need to
To me,
be a
that's worth $5,000 an hour if people just understand it, right? Hello.
yes. Just call me and I will help you. I will. If I don't know the answer, I'm surrounded by 29 people who are experts in
Right.
their field
So that's the
too.
best offer I've heard all day, Nancy. So people when they
Yeah.
jump on you, they're just stupid, but you can't fix stupid. So
Nope, nope. But Nancy at ydcteam.com. Nancy at ydcteam. Shoot me an email and I would love to have a discovery call with any of you. And
great.
again, you don't have to be a Yellow Dog partner to pick up the phone.
Okay, guys, give her a call. All right. Thanks a
All
lot,
right.
Nancy. Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you so much for having me. Have a good day.